Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Frank Leboeuf, Shaka Hislop and Nicol answering your questions today. All right, let's get started, guys. Guys, did you ever decline a call-up for your national team because you wanted to stay focused on your club team? If so, what was the excuse you gave your national team coach?
Never. Never.
I have.
I have.
I have.
What a surprise.
Shame on you.
It actually led to me not being called up for another 10 years or something of the sort. So when I was playing at Reading, this would have been 1994. I was the only goalkeeper on Reading's books, and Tran Tobago and Jack Warner, for some strange reason, arranged a game November 19th, 1994. And now the backstory to that is we'd lost to the US November 19th, 1989 to qualify for the World Cup. If we had drawn, we would have qualified for the World Cup. For some reason, Jack Warner decided he wanted to hold a friendly to commemorate 5 years after that game, a game that we lost, which makes no sense. Exactly. And it was outside of the international window. It was outside of an international window. And I'm the only goalkeeper in Reading's books, and I'm 2 years into my professional career. So I as it happened, the Tran Tobago president, Tran Tobago were going to Saudi Arabia, I think, to play a game. So I met with them, and I said, listen, I don't want to come to this game. I'm focusing on my career here. I don't want to leave in the middle of, it's a 9-minute international window. And he was totally supportive of that. Then all of a sudden, this is pre-email, I get a fax at the club. Jack Warner was insisting that I show up or get banned. So I turned it down. I said, no, I'm not coming. And the excuse I used was because I have a British passport. I'm like, I'm entitled to. I hadn't played for Tran Tobago before that. And that was it. And that kind of sparked this standoff between me and Jack. That I didn't make my debut for Tran Tobago until 1999, 5 years later.
Wow.
Still not happy, is he?
No.
No, I'm not.
Still no.
I'm still. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Aye. No.
Who celebrates a game that you lost? God.
Apparently Trinidad and Tobago.
Right? Good God.
Aww.
Oh,
See?
well.
Do you know, I pulled it quite a lot, but they were all friendlies. I never pulled out of a proper game.
What were your excuses on the friendlies?
All the groin. I always had trouble with my groins. So Dalglish would come up to me on the Friday and go, do you want to go? And I'd be like, I'm not bothered. He says, all right. So then now and again, I did it a couple of times, but he would take me off with 10 minutes to go. If we'd won the game, all done and dusted.
That's a
10 minutes to go.
conspiracy.
10 minutes to go, take me off, and then that was it. And then what happened was the following international, which was a proper game, so I go and meet up, and Andy Roxworth, who was the manager at the time, came up to him and went, he said, you think we're daft? I'm like, what are you talking about? He went, yeah, coming off 10 minutes before the end. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
My groins.
I'm disgusted because it was under a Scottish manager as well, who should have cared more for
They were
his country.
friendlies, nobody was bothered. They're friendly. Never a proper game. I was giving somebody else the opportunity to play.
Oh, how kind of you.
Can I just say?
I didn't want to make myself...
Can I just say?
I didn't want to push my own agenda, but...
One man said never, and he won a World Cup. So there's a moral in that story, guys. All right.
So if I'd taken that call up in November, Tran Tobago to won the World Cup, is that what?
Yeah.
Hold on. So you're telling me Scotland never won the World Cup because I never win?
Yeah. Maybe they had more professional
because of your dodgy groins. Because of your dodgy groins, Scotland never won a World Cup.
Okay. What was that first international window like when you stopped playing for your country? Did you miss it or did you enjoy the time off, Frank?
What was that first window like when you stopped playing for your country? I stopped in 2002, after 2002 World Cup. And you know what? 2003, I signed for Qatar, so it was more than my first international window. It was more like holidays for a while. So I don't know what it means. I played 7 years for my country, and I was involved almost every time, and that was always a pleasure. I never complained about that. I remember having maybe, because I played for Chelsea and we didn't have holidays in winter, so I had like for 5 years only 15 days holidays per year, but I was very happy. I was happy, always happy to play for my country. I never consider a friendly game as a friendly game because I was playing for my country and I wanted to win for my country. So it was my way of thinking. I'm sorry, Stevie.
Is that a dig?
But
Is that a dig? I just felt a dig there.
Not even that subtle either.
Yeah, I'll never sleep tonight.
But
Your groins?
that's how I felt. And when I stopped, you know, I was starting to be fed up with football, so I was happy to have some good time, you know, with my family and also on holiday. So that was great, but never complained about being called up for the national team.
Any regrets after retirement?
No, mine was absolutely fantastic. Well, my final game for Trinidad and Tobago was against England in the World Cup. So that was, I put an end to my international career. After that, literally went out on the highest of highs, and I have zero regrets.
Zero regrets, zero regrets.
No, I actually answered the. Excuse me, Frank. I actually answered the call for my country, if you don't mind. I'd already retired from international football.
That's all right.
And 2 years later, I got a call because there's an injury crisis, asked me to play. And of course I played.
What a
What
guy.
a man.
So-
What a man.
Take that.
Well done.
Did any of you have an opportunity to play at the Olympics?
Nah.
Never interested. No interest.
Frankie?
Yeah, it's not. It's funny that people are talking about the Olympics before, like they talk about the Ballon d'Or. It wasn't even planned. I know France won in '84. They won the Olympics in Los Angeles, but it never been a goal to win the Olympics or play for the Olympics as a football player. It wasn't like part of our, you know, dreams
count.
or whatever it is. Part of our culture. It's funny. It's
Didn't count.
It's a World Cup, it's the Euro, and that's it. But it's not the Olympic. Olympics for amateurs at the time, and it was for people who are working hard for 4 years to be known for one race, or I don't know what it is, but for another sport. I think basketball, football, and tennis shouldn't be there. I understand the money point of it, but otherwise, it doesn't attract me. I never watch any football game during the Olympics. I'm not interested.
To be honest, before Frank said France won the Olympics in '84, I was about to ask when did the men's soccer start in the Olympics? I thought that was a new thing. I honestly thought it was a new thing. I didn't realize that it was going on at all.
Right, well, that answers that question, doesn't it? Frank, what's the worst stadium to play at as a player?
In terms of what? Atmosphere or facilities?
I think you can choose what stands out to you, whatever it may be.
Well, I would say that the what is the name of Sellers Park? Sellers Park at the time, the away dressing room was quite awful. Was small in the corner. That was pretty strange. But you had some stadiums like that. I played also in Guingamp in Brittany in France, and it's a very small stadium, and that's a strange atmosphere. It's like you are in an amateur environment, even if the team that you play against has always been very good. So yeah, I would say Sellers Park. Didn't really like it at the time.
You're laughing and smiling as you say Selhurst Park.
Well, Selhurst Park was a tough place to go. It really was, and certainly in terms of Premier League clubs and clubs who or at least spent significant time in the
Pitch was rotten to play.
Yeah, Selhurst Park is right up there. Probably the worst stadium I played in as a professional was Grimsby. But then they are a long way away from the Premier League. Playing in Central America was always quite interesting. Fans would often fill little plastic bags, with bodily fluids and throw at the players, which, as a goalkeeper, made for an interesting 90 minutes. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I always think if you get, did one ever hit you?
No, I used to stay outside the box.
Sweeper keeper.
Honestly, the chip was on. The chip was on all game long because I would not go back into my 6-yard until literally you were running past me. Seriously, it was tough.
Oh,
It was an
I
experience.
can imagine.
Strangely, I would say my worst was the first time I ever stepped on the field for Ayr United. It was Arbroath away.
That just didn't sound good.
Now, Arbroath's pitch, stadium, was 10 yards from the North Sea.
Oh.
I have never been so cold in my life. And back then, we didn't have all your waterproof big jackets and the whole thing. So it's freezing, the wind's coming off the North Sea, it's raining, I've got a jacket on that's not waterproof, and by the time I get on, I can't feel my toes. I can't feel my toes.
Oh.
And I've gone on with about 10, 15 minutes to go. Honestly, it was horrendous. Never forget it.
Yeah, it sounded cold, didn't it?
Just the name,
okay.
just the name
All right.
alone is
I feel
cold.
cold thinking about it.
Stevie,
Why is Kay laughing?
I'm not.
Why is Kay laughing?
Stevie, what was school like for you as a burgeoning footballer?
Oh.
Did you finish school before leaving? Did you finish school before leaving? for
Let me just say.
Did you have to
Let me
you have
just
to
say.
continue your studies while
Why
playing?
are you laughing so much, Kay? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing so much?
Hello, yeah. Actually, one
Because she knows the answer.
Hey, why are you laughing, Kay? It's a serious question.
Imagine how serious he was about his studies.
all I will say was I was not there 1 second longer than I had to. That's all I'll say.
If you've not read Stevie's book, you should go and read it. It's brilliant.
I only went to school for playtime and PE.
And
Rest of it-
lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime, lunchtime, playtime, and PE. The rest of it was a waste of time. I sit and look at Wendy.
All right, for Shaka, today is the start of March Madness. Did you fill out your bracket? And who do you have winning it all? Sorry about Howard's loss.
Yeah, I know. I did not fill out a bracket. I have absolutely no idea. I don't follow college. I don't follow college basketball.
No.
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, no. Maybe that's maybe LA. Does he do a March
Yeah, maybe
Madness
LA.
bracket? Dan probably does, doesn't he?
Dan?
Dan Fisher. Dan loves all that stuff.
No,
Yeah.
no chance. No chance Dan did a bracket.
Yeah, I think Olympic football, soccer, made its debut in like the early 1900s.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought I was about 20 years old.
So,
Just thought I'd put that there at the end.
Thank you very
I
much.
shouldn't have bothered. I'm not interested.
Anyway, that will do it for the latest edition.
TV's
of
off to
Extra Time.
study.
I'm off to
TV.
Thank you so much for being with us.
do me for O levels.
We'll be back tomorrow.
I don't
Well,
know why that was so
shenanigans.
funny.